So there's a trade possibility, and right now it's not X'd in stone. But this package would it involves two teams, the San Antonio Spurs and the Miami Heat. So the the Miami Heat is going to get DeMar DeRozan, and the San Antonio Spurs are going to get Iggy and Olynyk. Okay, and when you look at the trade proposal, I just don't see how this benefiting either ball club. Okay. Now I know a lot of people are going to stop the video and they're going to start commenting in the comment section. Just hear me out. Okay. DeMar DeRozan, when you look at his career, I think the successful part of his career has been with the Toronto Raptors. And when he was with the Toronto Raptors, he was non-existent when it matters the most, okay? He's not a consistent player, okay? He's not a player that's going to consistently, like if you need a bucket, he's not that player. All right, now defensive-wise, he loves to play defense, and he will flourish in the Miami Heat organization because Pat Riley and the Miami Heat organization, they love tough-minded players that don't mind playing defense, okay? And in this era of basketball, I think that's going to be a bonus and a plus for the Miami Heat from that perspective, okay? But to me, if they get DeMar DeRozan, obviously they're going to have to get some more pieces around Jimmy Bucket, okay? So Jimmy Butler's going to need more additions for the Miami Heat if the Miami Heat expect to run it back and make it to the finals next season, okay? Now, if you look at the San Antonio Spurs, they're just going to be adding more salary, okay? You're going to get Iggy, and you're going to get Kelly Olynyk. I think Kelly is if you look at the way how he plays, he's a great addition to the San Antonio Spurs. If the San Antonio Spurs had enough pieces to compete in the playoffs, okay? If they would have gotten him in the Tim Duncan era, he would have been a great addition to that club, to that basketball club, okay? Because they're going to because he's going to be a great contributor coming off the bench. But when you look at the San Antonio Spurs of today, obviously they're rebuilding, okay? So neither of these two players are not going to position them as far as making it to the playoffs. They got a long way to go, okay? They're still rebuilding their roster, all right? So if you get Iggy and if you get Kelly, then when you trade for those pieces, obviously you're contending for the postseason. And I just don't think San Antonio Spurs are there yet. Okay, I think they got like another couple of years, in my opinion. All right, so if you're trading for these pieces, these are pieces that you're willing to let go of next season, early next season, or the trade deadline of next season, where veteran teams that are ready to push for the postseason would love to trade a couple of draft picks for Iggy, a couple of draft picks for Kelly Olynyk. Okay, that will be if they trade for these two players, in my humble opinion, the San Antonio Spurs are trying to set themselves up for the future. They could possibly get more draft picks from different ball clubs. All right, the Lakers were interested in Iggy. Or will they still be interested in Iggy? Before the trade deadline of next season, there's a possibility, okay? So you still got that possibility floating around. And with Kelly, he's a serviceable player that fits well in teams that have a perimeter style type of offense, like the Golden State Warriors or the Brooklyn Nets, okay? Or maybe the Milwaukee Bucks. There's a possibility that he could be traded. He could be joining San Antonio Spurs. And then when they are allowed to trade these players, now you can send these players to different ball clubs. Or the Boston Celtics. He started in Boston. So if the Boston Celtics want to, if there's, position themselves for the postseason and they need a player off the bench, Kelly Olynyk is available. So to me, from that perspective, if you look at this trade, the San Antonio Spurs, if they do this trade, they're making this trade for additional draft picks, okay? Not to make the team better or compete in the postseason, but basically they're trading for these two players for their future, you know. And when you look at the Miami Heat, if they get DeMar, okay, yeah, that's a great addition. Not a great addition, a solid addition. But obviously, you're going to be getting more players to bolster that roster. I don't think DeRozan is enough. The Heat are not one player away. Okay, even if they get the DeRozan, obviously they're going to be getting some other players in return to bolster that roster. Okay, so I don't like the trade. Me personally, and I don't think this trade is going to make the Heat that stronger of a component as far as event. You know, obviously they could probably go to the postseason, but you know, if they wind up playing the Lakers again with DeRozan, DeRozan, I don't think that that lineup is still going to beat the Lakers, okay? They're going to have to obviously get more pieces, all right? It's a start. It could be the start of something as far as building for a title team, but it is what it is, all right? So that's what I got. That's the vibe I'm getting with this trade. The San Antonio Spurs obviously going to do this trade to probably get more pieces later on down the road when they're able to trade these two, Iggy or Kelly. When they're able to trade these players, they'll get more pieces as far as rebuilding. And when you look at DeRozan, yeah, that's a good piece, but you're gonna need more pieces. Okay, so that's all I got for this. It's your boy. I'm up out of here. Deuces.